Hey guys, today I'm going to do the first in a series of videos that I like to call a DIY on trial. If you've been on YouTube any period of time, you know that there are thousands of DIYs out there, anywhere from DIY eyeliners, DIY gel eyeliners, DIY lip balms, lip glosses, anything out there that you can think of. In this series, I really hope to show you guys if these DIYs are worth it or if it's worth it just to go out, spend the extra couple dollars, and get the real product. For the first ever DIY on trial, I'm going to be trying to recreate Benefit's Benetint. If you look up DIY lip and cheek stain on YouTube, you're going to get a ton of videos of people, pretty much all of them are either adding food coloring or Kool-Aid to water and then putting that on their face. I'm going to be comparing that DIY to the real thing. So let's get how to do the DIY out of the way really quickly. I'm not going to be spending a ton of time and spending a ton of details on how to do this DIY because a lot of people know how to do it anyways. You can look up videos anywhere. You might already even know how to make it. The first thing you'll need is a container. The Benetint comes in a little plastic container like this. This is just the trial size sample, but it comes with a brush similar to those on a Stila lip gloss. A lot of the DIYs that I've found to recreate this product have used empty nail polish bottles. With that being said, first thing you have to do is empty a nail polish bottle. Here I have an old bottle of a Rimmel base and top coat. I'm going to tell you guys now, this was a pain to empty. If you're going to try this DIY, my first recommendation is to use a nail polish that has color to it. I couldn't tell if this was empty or if it still had product in it because the product itself was clear. Cleaning out the bottle is pretty easy. The hardest part is really going to be cleaning out the brush. My tip for cleaning out the brush is instead of trying to stick a Q-tip down into here, if you grab onto this plastic part and you wiggle it back and forth and pull out, you can pull out this whole piece, really get a good clean in here and really get a good clean around this. Next step, you're going to add your pigment. I have here just no-name food coloring. Now depending on how pigmented you want this to be, obviously you add either more or less. So just to start off, I'm going to do 3 drops. Boop, boop, boop. It's easier to add pigment than it is to take away, so if when I add my water I find this isn't pigmented enough for me, I can always add more color. I'm going to be doing my flavoring with this spray-in liquid water enhancer. This is from Mio and this is the fruit punch flavor. Now the recommended shot of this is about a split second, so I'm going to try doing a very split second into this to get just a little bit of pigment. So here I have my liquid color and my liquid flavoring in my nail polish bottle. And I just noticed I have a shoelace hanging down. Sorry folks. Next thing I'm going to do is add my water. This would be a little bit too pigmented to put on your lips right now, so I'm going to add water to tone it down a bit. And because I don't want to get completely soaked, I'm going to be using a makeshift funnel out of this piece of paper here. So here is my finished tint. I'm going to add a bit more flavor and a bit more color just to adjust it a bit. So to get this completed formula here, I added about 5 drops of food coloring and 2 split seconds of flavor. It was also recommended in the DIY videos to shorten your brush here, just to have a bit more control with the product on your lips or on your cheeks. And here I have my freshly cut shortened brush that I'm just going to stick into my water, food coloring, and juice mixture. First off, a quick look at pigmentation. The Benetint is a bit darker than my DIY. You could always add more color. I just want to stick with this for now. First up, I'm going to swatch Benetint on the back of my hand. Here's my quick swatch of Benetint. You can see that it is slightly pigmented and it does stain just a tiny bit. You have to work it out really quickly. And here's my DIY version. Here are the 2 swatches side by side, this being Benetint and this being the DIY version. As far as smell goes, Benetint definitely does smell a bit better, but I can definitely still smell tap water through all the pigment and all the flavoring. Second thing I'm going to test is a pigmentation on the skin as a cheek stain. On this side I'm going to be using Benetint. And on this side I'm going to be using the DIY version. As far as pigmentation, I think the DIY is a little bit darker. I'm not sure if you can tell though. And the DIY one did take a little bit longer to set, so I had more time to spread it up here, whereas with the Benetint, I just had time to spread it right along my cheek. So this one's kind of weird. The Benetint in the container is a lot more pigmented DIY version in its container, but it is more pigmented on the face. Now for lip tint, I'm just going to be doing half of my lips on the same side, the Benefit, and the other half I'm going to be using the DIY. Right now I just have the Benefit on one side of my lips. When I got the idea to film this, I really thought that hands down I was going to pick the Benefit version, but I'm really kind of leaning towards the DIY version. As far as taste goes, the DIY version definitely does taste better on your lips. The Benetint does taste kind of cosmetic-y is the only real way that I can describe it. It's one of those tastes that cosmetics have if you were to accidentally get lipstick in your mouth or lip gloss that doesn't taste very good but looks nice. It almost just kind of tastes like it's not supposed to be there. I'm just going to cover the entirety of my lips now with the DIY version. As far as the cost goes, the DIY version didn't really cost me anything. I already had the juice flavoring, I already had the food coloring, I obviously already had the water, and this container was just nail polish that I wasn't really using anymore, so that didn't cost me anything either. With the Benetint, this came as a sample in my Benefit Advent calendar, so this didn't cost me really anything, but the full size of this product usually sells for $19 to $24. So for this DIY on trial, I'm actually going to be picking the DIY version of the cheek and lip stain, which is very surprising to me. I didn't think that I'd be picking the DIY over the real version. The only thing I don't like, I 100% do not like, if you have any way to avoid this, definitely do so. If you have a nail polish bottle that you can buy from a store, do that instead of cleaning one out, because this took me about 45 minutes to clean out. That, and I used a ton of nail polish remover, a ton of soap, and about 30 Q-tips. Out of 10, I'm going to give this DIY an 8.5. It loses that 1.5 points because it was so hard to get this nail polish empty. And that is it for my first DIY on trial. If you guys have any questions, or if you have another DIY you want to know if it actually does work, I can definitely put it on trial for you here. Leave a comment below. Feel free to subscribe if you've liked what you've seen today. And again, thank you guys very much for watching. See you soon.